detention centers. The allowance of items like Xbox consoles and other toys in immigration detention centers is generally very restricted due to security concerns. Here's what we can infer. Security protocols. Detention facilities prioritize security. Electronic devices and certain toys can pose security risks. There's a need to prevent contraband, potential weapons, and communication with the outside world that isn't monitored. Regulations and restrictions. Detention centers operate under strict regulations. These regulations typically limit personal belongings to ensure the safety of everyone within the facility. Items that could be used to facilitate escape or cause harm are almost certainly prohibited. Variability. The specific rules can vary depending on the facility and the circumstances. However, it's highly unlikely that items like Xboxes would be generally allowed. It is more likely that if any entertainment items were allowed, it would be heavily regulated and monitored. General detention center conditions. Detention centers are not designed for recreational activities. Their primary purpose is to hold individuals pending legal proceedings. Therefore, it's highly improbable that detainees in Philippine immigration detention centers, regardless of nationality, would be allowed to bring in items like Xbox consoles and other similar toys.
Now, the reason this is important that I bring this up is that Barry Lee Jordan, who is a detainee at the Mandawi Warden's Immigration Detention Center, has been in there the past 23 months, has full use of an Xbox and screen monitors, cell phones, laptop, and a lot of other luxuries. Now, according to the rules on immigration, he shouldn't have these items. He even possesses a small baseball bat. So all the above information is very interesting because Mr. Jordan has defied anything having to do with the Bureau of Immigration, despite getting communications from them saying that you also can't make death threats to people from your cell. Nevertheless, use your cell phone for such. Nevertheless, have an Xbox for entertainment, as detention was not made to be an amusement park.
Understanding conjugal visit policies in the Philippines requires distinguishing between different types of detention facilities. Here's a breakdown. Bureau of Corrections, BUCOR, and Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, BJMP. These agencies handle individuals convicted of crimes, BUCOR, and those awaiting trial, BJMP. Within these facilities, conjugal visits are generally allowed, with specific guidelines and regulations. There are memorandum and circulars that set the guidelines for conjugal visits within those facilities. Bureau of Immigration, BI detention centers. BI detention centers hold individuals for immigration-related violations, not necessarily criminal convictions. The policies regarding conjugal visits in BI detention centers are less clearly defined than in BUCOR or BJMP facilities. It is generally understood that immigration detention centers have stricter rules regarding visits due to the nature of their detainees and the emphasis on security and potential deportation. It is far less common to have conjugal visits within immigration detention centers. Key differences. The primary purpose of BI detention is to hold individuals pending immigration proceedings, whereas BUCOR and BJMP facilities focus on punishment and rehabilitation. This difference in purpose leads to variations in visitation policies. Therefore, while conjugal visits are a recognized practice in Philippine correctional facilities, BUCOR and BJMP, they are not a common or widely acknowledged practice in Bureau of Immigration detention centers. The use of social media and the ability to generate income while detained in a Philippine immigration detention center is highly restricted, if not entirely prohibited. Here's a breakdown of the factors involved. Detention center regulations. Immigration detention centers prioritize security and control. Allowing detainees unrestricted access to social media and income-generating activities would pose significant security risks. These facilities have strict regulations regarding communication with the outside world, and these regulations are intended to prevent things such as organized crime and other illegal activity. Access to technology. As mentioned previously, access to electronic devices, including smartphones and computers, is heavily restricted in these facilities. This limitation directly impedes the ability to use social media. Even if a detainee had access to a device, there would be regulations regarding internet access. Purpose of detention. Immigration detention is primarily for holding individuals pending immigration proceedings, not for providing opportunities for business or social activity. The focus is on processing cases and ensuring compliance with immigration laws.
Now, this is where I will interject on this. Mr. Barry Lee Jordan, actually, all of the above information that has been spoken does apply to him. He does use his YouTube channel to create income. He is commonly heard begging for donations, and he has Super Chat, he has PayPal, Gcash, and so on. So basically, Mr. Barry Lee Jordan is conducting monetary business from his detention facility, which has been quoted as saying that it is illegal to do so, amongst everything else that's been said in this rather informing video. And there's more.
Security concerns. Unmonitored social media use could facilitate illegal activities, communication with criminal networks, or the dissemination of information that could compromise security. Also, there is a concern that it could be used to facilitate escape. Therefore, it is highly unlikely that an immigration detainee in the Philippines would be allowed to use social media to generate income while incarcerated. The right to medical care is a fundamental human right, and this principle extends to individuals held in detention. However, the reality of access to adequate health care in detention facilities can be complex. Here's what can be gathered regarding medical health access in Philippine immigration detention centers. General principles, human rights. International human rights standards, such as the Nelson Mandela rules, emphasize that detainees should have access to health care equivalent to that available in the general community. This principle applies regardless of nationality. Philippine law. The Philippine government has obligations to uphold these human rights standards. Challenges and realities. Facility conditions. Reports indicate that detention facilities in the Philippines, including immigration detention centers, can face challenges in providing adequate medical care due to factors like overcrowding and limited resources. Information shows that there are concerns regarding the health conditions within Philippine jails. Access to care. While detainees have a right to medical care, the actual access to timely and quality health care can vary. Those detainees that need to be hospitalized can be sent to nearby hospitals with escort, but the medical expense must be paid by the detainees. This can cause a heavy burden. Specific needs. Detainees with specific medical needs, such as chronic illnesses or mental health conditions, may face additional challenges in accessing appropriate care. Key points. Detainees, including Chinese nationals, have the right to medical care in Philippine immigration detention centers. However, challenges exist in ensuring consistent and adequate access to health care in these facilities. It is important to remember that the Philippine government is obligated to uphold human rights standards. Therefore, while medical care is a right, the practical application of that right can be influenced by various factors. In the Philippines, the deportation of a complainant or witness in a criminal case does not automatically halt the proceedings. Here's a breakdown of relevant considerations. Prosecution's role. Criminal cases in the Philippines are primarily prosecuted by the government through the Public Prosecutor's Office. Therefore, the case's continuation does not solely rely on the individual complainant. The prosecution will typically proceed if there is sufficient evidence to support the charges, regardless of the complainant's presence. Witness testimony. If the deported individual is a crucial witness, the court may explore options to obtain their testimony, such as depositions. The court may allow the taking of the witness's deposition in another location. Video conferencing. Modern technology may enable remote testimony. In some cases, if the witness is willing to return to the Philippines, then that would be an option. Evidence. The strength of the case relies heavily on the available evidence. If there is sufficient evidence beyond the deported individual's testimony, the case can proceed. Court discretion. Ultimately, the court has the discretion to determine how to proceed in such situations. Factors considered include the importance of the deported individual's testimony, the availability of alternative evidence, and the interests of justice. In summary, while the deportation of a key individual can complicate a criminal case, it does not necessarily bring it to a complete halt. The Philippine legal system has mechanisms to address such situations. When a Filipino citizen harbors an American expat who is in violation of Philippine immigration laws, they could face legal consequences. The specific charges can vary depending on the circumstances, but generally, they revolve around harboring or concealing an undocumented alien. This is the core offense. It involves knowingly providing shelter, assistance, or concealment to a foreign national who is in the Philippines illegally. This could include someone who has overstayed their visa, entered the country without proper documentation, or is subject to a deportation order. Aiding and abetting. If the Filipino citizen actively assists the American expat in evading immigration authorities, they could be charged with aiding and abetting. This could involve providing false information, helping the expat obtain false documents, or assisting them in moving from place to place to avoid detection. Violation of immigration laws. The specific provisions of the Philippine Immigration Act of 1940, as amended, would be relevant. These laws outline the rules and regulations governing the entry, stay, and departure of foreign nationals. Possible other charges. Depending on the specifics of the situation, if other violations of the law are committed, then those charges could also be added. For example, if false documents were created, then falsification of documents could be added. Key considerations. Knowledge. A crucial element is whether the Filipino citizen knew that the American expat was in violation of immigration laws. Intent. The intent of the Filipino citizen is also considered. Bureau of Immigration. The Philippine Bureau of Immigration, BI, is the primary agency responsible for enforcing immigration laws. They have the authority to investigate and apprehend individuals who violate these laws. It is important to understand that harboring an undocumented alien is a serious offense, and those who engage in such activities can face significant penalties.
Now, the information provided on this video all pertains to Mr. Barry Lee Jordan. His time that he's been spending in the immigration lockup has been utilized with just about every one of these crimes that has been mentioned on here. Everything from weapons, everything from it's considered contraband and dangerous. The use, which was clearly stated, that he cannot have Xboxes, he cannot be using social media as a tool, especially when his crime has to do with cyber libel. As mentioned, there is charges that can be put on Mr. Jordan with 5 separate legal cases on him. He's under the jurisdiction right now of the Toledo Regional Trial Court for such. Being in a facility is not to be a recreational playground for a detainee. Mr. Barry Lee Jordan has violated every one of these rules, including getting his girlfriend involved in a conspiracy, and that's exactly what it is, a conspiracy to find fault with the very person who has put the case on him. It's an act of revenge. It is clearly said in the BI rules and regulations, and as a law, even with the Department of Justice, all interrelated, of course, that if you are harboring, aiding, and abetting somebody who has been long-term overstay with the immigration, then there are laws that you have heard on here that actually pertain to this situation, which is exactly which is going out because Mr. Jordan, as we all know, coerced his girlfriend, Charisma Saram, to do a case against me based on false information as an enactment of revenge. Everything that's been provided on this video pertains to Mr. Barry Lee Jordan as to this day. He's been non-cooperative with the immigration despite getting letters saying that you need to stop your social media and use your phone, the death threats that you've been putting against Mr. Battaglia. But Mr. Jordan did not listen to that, and he still proceeded to use his cell phone for said purpose. And moving on with this, he is using
his detention center to earn money through his YouTube platform, which also is illegal on here. And it's unfortunate that is involving his girlfriend, Miss Charisma Saram. It could have really bad consequences for her involvement in this issue. It is sad for Miss Saram that she decided to cooperate in this matter under the circumstances that are going on with Mr. Jordan. Mr. Jordan remains at the Mandawi Warden's Immigration Detention Center to this day, and it's been approaching 23 months because Mr. Jordan is still awaiting the rest of his trial, which is going on at the Toledo RTC. Mr. Jordan chooses to violate all these regulations, and there were many that were listed on here that he has been violating. And so far, he's managed to get away with a whole lot of these regulations that prohibit certain activities, certain toys, certain electronic entertainment devices to this day. The Bureau of Immigration needs to put a stop to this. And with the help of my personal attorney, we're going to make sure that this stops. This is not a playhouse. This is not a hotel. There's a reason why he's in a detention center, and there's a reason why Mr. Barry Lee Jordan has a case against him. Mr. Jordan has violated all these rules, every one of them. Mr. Jordan feels that he is above the law. His attitude has proven that, and the many reports that has been sent to Immigration and Department of Justice by myself, Mr. Frank Battaglia, has proven to the immigration that there are problems going on with his detention. And now this has been continuing for numerous years. Despite knowing all the regulations, Mr. Barry Lee Jordan has not stopped. And this is a daily routine where he's putting on live streams from his YouTube platform and completely disobeying the law, even after he has 5 criminal charges on him. In full realization that Mr. Jordan could get up to 4, 5, or more years on each charge, Mr. Barry Lee Jordan, still with his attitude and above the law attitude, continues to do so on his show. And he's also using his detention cell and his time in there to create income, which is also against the law. Despite many requests to the Board of Immigration and the Department of Justice, there has not been any major action taken against Mr. Jordan to this time. But hopefully that is going to change, and that Mr. Jordan will be relieved of his communication devices and his other toys. This information will be sent over, of course, to the Bureau of Immigration, Department of Justice, to BI Intel, for the said purpose of information sharing, and even if it means them reviewing their own rules and regulations that he is basically breaking. This might enlighten some immigration officers in the Intel Department and the Department of Justice, and make some needed changes regarding Mr. Barry Lee Jordan's free realm in a detention center to do whatever he wants, to attack anybody he wants on social media, especially the very person that got him into a court trial. This has been a long engagement with Mr. Jordan to attack, defame, incite violence against Mr. Battaglia from his cell phone and computer in his detention center. The admittance of wanting to kill Mr. Battaglia and have others to kill him and put a bullet in his head should take the attention of the Department of Justice, and to incite others to do so verbally and by telling people where he lives, and that it would be easy for somebody to offer 50,000 pesos to a Filipino to put a bullet in my head.
Okay, that was short, sweet, and to the point. So what did we learn? Barry's got an Xbox. Barry's got his phone. Barry can take a shit when he wants. Barry's not suffering. I want Barry to suffer. BI, please do something about it. That's all I heard. What about you guys? Did you hear what? Did you hear the same shit I heard? Frank. Frank doesn't even know what AI stands for. Some fucking crony out there sent him the link to all that shit. And what'd he do? He downloaded it and then fucking holds his phone up so you guys can so you guys can hear that shit. Frank is about as technically advanced as a wet fart in church on a hot Sunday afternoon, gentlemen. Guaranteed. All right. Barry's having sex up in the jail cell. My dick doesn't work. I can't have sex with Gilda anymore. That's all I heard. That's all I heard. It's a little fucking piece of shit crying over some fucking hillbilly that called him a fucking pedo. That's what I fucking heard. Okay? And that's all I heard. And you know what? His liberal tears taste so nicely. I know they'll go great in my espresso. What a fucking piece of shit. And judging by that type of live stream he did tonight, I think he got some bad news. I think the bad news has come down. I can't confirm it. I don't know if it's true or not, but he does this kind of shit whenever he gets bad news. You bet your ass that was straight fiction. And this fucking idiot has spent 8 years in fucking Philippines, so he brags. But what did he learn? He has learned nothing about fucking Philippines. Nothing. He, let's see. Maybe he's learned where the CR is. Uh, where his bed is, where his benzos are at. You bet your ass the fucking hobgoblin loves his cell apartment. I mean, dude, the guy, look, the hobgoblin has never had anything, okay? His cell with his ice maker, Xbox, laptop, gets to watch TV all day, gets a visit from his girlfriend. Maybe one of the Three Stooges will bring him a brisket once in a while. This guy has never had it so good. Popeye, I've only been able to confirm that there has been a decision made. So I am all in on it. In fact, and not if he gets cuffed and stuffed. Uh, yeah, I mean, if he gets cuffed and stuffed, I'll laugh like a motherfucker. Please send me the video, somebody, so I can make a one last Popeye short on this fucking idiot. I have never seen anything like it. Hold on, guys. My espresso's ready. I'll be right back. All right, I got my espresso. Oh, but damn, I want Barry to sell him a cup of ice cubes. uh, uh, I don't see it happening overnight, but sooner or later, I guess there are sick of his BS and games, and frankly, want them both gone for good. Yeah, I believe that. Espresso Popeye, you've got 36, 36 more to make. I'll get right on it, Bobsy. Trust me, buddy. Trust me, I'll get right on it. Okay, I'll put the order in. Okay. Oops, sorry, sir. Out of stock. Oh man, I tell you. Well, I'm glad he didn't bloviate long tonight, because I like, dude, he was nonstop the whole weekend. I couldn't keep up with him. I had other shit to do. I can't simulcast every time this guy farts, you know. So I really enjoyed how he used Shaw's legal name. Uh, okay, sorry, sir, not available. How's that better, Mr. Tux? Short and potent are great. His long false happiness is boring. I have to agree. Ahoy, Steve 25901. Out of stock. Luckily, I had 2 coffees from my DeLonghi machine this morning. Yeah, good for you, Bob's. That's a good machine. I like DeLonghi. Yeah, they make a good machine. Uh, but I tell you, man, that's all I heard was a grown man crying because some fucking hapless idiot in a detention cell has a little bit of happiness. Okay. I remember, I remember when I was in high school, fucking Fridays or Saturday nights, there'd be a party at somebody's house. And Frank was that guy that fucking showed up at the party and just sucked all the fun right out of the fucking room. Okay. That's Frank. Hey, if you want something ruined, invite Frank. Oh yeah, definitely, Chris. He was displaying his ignorance like never before. Guaranteed. Okay, I think he got the bad news, to tell you the truth. And I listened to Sick Grandpa, aka Big Shot Travel, aka Jared, and I listened to him. And he's the kind of guy who mixes bullshit with the truth. And I believe they've made a decision and it's bye bye you. Okay. They have phones, drugs, and solar powered chargers in regular PI prison. What they show on Netflix documentaries and reality are two different things. I have to agree, Chris. It is. It is. Let's see. Mick Fisher Frank is the original Saturday Night Live character, Debbie Downer. He is. He truly is, man. Imagine how much he would cry if someone gave Barry an expensive DeLonghi coffee machine. Even his guards would be lining up. Oh, that's a no shitter, man. That's a no shitter. Okay. You know, And dude, I will tell you all right now. I'll tell you all right now. Yes, Barry's a piece of shit, but I'm already there at that point where I would fucking fork over $1,000 to Barry just to piss Frank off. But that $1,000 wouldn't get spent correctly. He would have a month of parties in that fucking jail cell. Every night would be a party for about 30 days straight for Barry. He wouldn't spend a fucking dime of it on fucking lawyer or trying to get out of there. And I've just come to the conclusion this guy wants to stay right there because what has he got to go home to? Nobody on the East Coast wants to associate with him anymore. You know, he's fucked over his kids, he's fucked over his ex girlfriend. I mean, name a person that guy hasn't fucked over, okay? But I am not at that point where I want him in Dante's Inferno. And that's Frank. When Frank dies and he goes to hell, dude, they're gonna they're gonna welcome him in. He'll get a hero's welcome. They'll probably fucking put him in charge of fucking torturing fresh new souls, okay? and and that's how I look at Frank. And you know, Frank has been crying. Oh, everybody thinks I'm the bad guy. Of course you're the bad guy. All right? He got picked up. He got put in there and they want to send him home. So what do? You file a case on him after you get him picked up. Okay? So he has to stay there. And you think it's fucking funny. And everybody tells you, dude, that's a little over the line. And now you want to cross the line even further. I mean, the guy has a couple of amenities in his cell. Okay? And they don't feed you there. They don't do shit for you there. And by the way, I don't give a shit about Geneva Convention fucking rules. The Philippines does not follow them. Okay? They follow Filipino law. And when you get stuck in BI detention or Bictacan, you're fucked. That's it. You have no rights. You are a lump of shit, and that's how you will be treated. Okay? Popeye, even if the devil himself will pick on Frank, the devil the devil will reject him. But you know, and so now, and you're wondering why everybody says you're the bad guy. I mean, you want to take away what few amenities this guy's got, okay? And it seems like you're being a total cunt, all right? You don't want to capitulate anything. You don't want to give him any breathing room. You just want him to fucking suffer. And it seems like you're never fucking satisfied. Well, he's got this kind of happiness. That's got to be taken away too. All right. I mean, I have never seen anything like it. Okay. And dude, I don't even think you recognize what you're doing, what you're saying, and what the consequences are. Because when it all comes to push to shove, Frank, this shit is going to come back on you. Okay. And Frank, tonight, I am 90% sure you're going back to the United States, whether you like it or not, and you will never step on Philippine soil again. And when that happens, I'm going to laugh my fucking ass off. Filipino prison is not a place you want to be if you are looking to eat any sort of good food. It's boiled rice and dried fish, boiled vegetables. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, and see, he wants to take away everything Barry has. He wants to control Barry 100%. And Frank is not going to be happy until he attaches strings to Barry's arms and legs and uses him as a marionette. Then maybe fucking Frank would be happy. Okay? Pog Pog, if you're lucky. Oh my God, you're gonna make me throw up in my mouth a little bit there, Mr. Bill. Oh my God, Pog Pog. Holy shit. But hey, that's how I see it tonight, guys. Guaranteed. And you know, I just the guy has just got to stop, okay? And he's gonna learn when he gets thrown out of that country, okay? Because I believe Frank will be on a plane before Barry is on a plane, okay? I think Frank will be departing Philippines before Barry does. That's the way I see it. I think Pog Pog would be better than the prison food I've seen. LOL. Frank is pure evil. Dude, he is. I have never seen a guy like him. I mean, he does not have 1 ounce of empathy. None. Zilch. Nada. And, you know, that's his downfall. Okay? And he kept going and he kept going. And then he finally fucked with the wrong Filipina. How many of you guys said it? That this fucking douchebag was going to fuck with the wrong Filipina and he was going to get his ass handed to him. And I believe this week, or if it's not already happened, that he got his ass handed to him and he's been told, you're fucking going home. Those two deserve each other. You can say that both should stay off YT. I mean, Don C, both of them have been a scourge in the Philippine genre YouTube community for 8 years, both of them. And I couldn't tell you which one is worse. But the shit that Frank is pulling right now, the shit that Frank is pulling right now is beyond the fucking pale. I cannot even begin to fucking comprehend it. And Mick Fisher says that is the exact warning I gave him. Hey, and you know, I know he hates my ass. Dude, if he could stick a skewer up my ass and barbecue me over an open pit, he would. Just for, you know, proving that he's a fucking liar, fucking hypocrite, you know. Normal shit like that. It is why he has no relationship with his family, friends, or co-workers. Uh, Number one, he's never had co-workers. Number two, I don't think he's ever had a fucking friend. And number three, yeah, he's got family, but they don't fucking talk to his ass. Frank is clearly at the point of desperation. He is shooting for the end, and so far, only end is his. Yes, that's it. Uh, this guy has delusions of grandeur. He thinks he's the alpha, the omega. And what that means, he thinks he's the beginning. He thinks he's the end. He ain't nothing but a fucking little dust ball. that slid off a fucking turd. That's it. That's all he is. He loves Don C. Yeah, he does, man. He really loved it, Don, when you dug into his dealings on selling his house. He really loved that. He was like, he just didn't know where to go with that because all the proof is out there. Okay? All the proof is out there. The guy has been on fucking SSDI since he was 48. And the minute he turned, what, 65 or 70, he started taking regular Social Security. Right? Dude, if he wanted to do Philippines right, after he fucking ran from Hawaii, so he didn't have to pay the 60K lawsuit, what he should have done was taken that money, put it all in the bank. He should have sat down and talked to Gilda and said, hey, let's get an annulment for you, get Jimmy to agree to it, make it short, sweet, like that. Right? But no, wouldn't do that. Right? He could have rented, he would have had plenty of money in the bank, could have lived peacefully with Gilda. But no, he had to come on YouTube. He had to fuck with people. For 8 years, this guy's been coming on YouTube fucking with people. Right? Since his conception. Right? Steadfast Stacy, send the dude to Casino, Australia to live with Jeannie Mead. They both sound cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, I have to agree. And these are the things he should have done. Okay? Because you can't go out there and you can't profess your love for somebody, but yet you won't help them get an annulment so you can get married. If you really love the girl, truly love the girl, you marry her. Right? And the reason why that didn't happen because Frank does not give a shit about anybody but himself. Right? That's all Frank cares about is just himself. Nobody else, period. He don't give a flying fuck about nobody else. It's all about him 24/7. So if he gets deported and he has to leave, the money overseas, or it can be attached, and that's how he left. So how do how do you live in the U.S. on 1,400 a month? Well, Don, that sounds like a personal problem for Frank. And look, maybe Gilda does not want a be an maybe she's not. But see, Don, I'm just giving a hypothetical on how he should have done it. But what did he do? He did it the expat dummy way. He went over there, and what does he do? He hooks up with a fucking married woman. Turns around and buys the woman a fucking house. Eh? And the woman has a fucking basketball team. And then interjects and says, well, Jimmy and Gilda, they still get along. Of course they get along. Because Jimmy pointed her finger and said, that's the guy that will buy you a house. He'll be dead within 5 to 6 years and we'll have a nice place to live in. Okay? That's the deal. That kind of shit goes on all the fucking time. All right? Sorry, I forgot who we were talking about. Okay. Uh, let's see, Steve. I am no expert on public housing, but monthly or so ago, I read that there are at least 2-year wait lists for poor seniors needing housing. He is gonna have to uh, gut it out until, yeah, yeah. And I don't think he has anybody back in the world to help his ass out. I really don't. There's nobody left back in the world. His brother is now dead. His house is sold in Hawaii. What does he got to go back to? Squat, zip, nothing, nada. Eh? Dude, he wouldn't last 10 minutes in fucking Thailand on sea. Eh? Hide your assets and disappear. I'm sure someone is will give Gilda a a meat pipe and it's not Frank. And on top of it, his dick stopped working long time ago. All right. So what the fuck you want to hook up with a Filipino for if your dick don't work? Okay. What the hell do you want a Filipina hanging around you for? That's got to be the most frustrating thing. Sitting there with a Filipina and you can't bang her because you're fucking too jimmied up on fucking benzos, all right? Or you're fucking too jimmied up on fucking Benadryl, okay? We have the welcome wagon ready in Vietnam as well. Yeah. There's only two places he can go, all right, that will fit his budget. Is Vietnam and Cambodia, all right? And I said this many years ago. After they wash out of Philippines, that's where they go, right? They go there, they hide, they try to save some money to come back to Philippines. And dude, if he gets that order and it says bye bye you, that's it. It's over but the fucking crying. Especially if it's stamped undesirable. His ass is grass. Okay? He's got nothing back in the world for him. At least Vietnam Frank can live in the tunnels. And that's the way it's gonna fucking work, man. Okay? And as you notice, there was no bloviating tonight. So Frank, I hope you're packing your fucking bags, okay? Because, like, just like that song, I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Yeah, remember that song, Frank? That goes all the way back to the 60s when you were a young man, eh? And then when you turned 18, you remember, Frank, how you dodged the draft? Okay? Dude, Frank, you've been a piece of shit your whole fucking life. From the day, 8 years in college, no degree, dodged the draft. I mean, wow, you're just like, you're on fucking fire, Frank. I mean, you're a great example for every American young man, Frank. And Frank, I believe you're a pedophile. And Frank, if you got as much money as you say you have, come here to the United States and sue my ass for calling you a fucking pedophile. Because according to your laws, that Barry has been doing it constantly, so I have no other choice. Well, I've been doing it for 3 months now, calling you a fucking pedophile. Where's my fucking lawsuit? Please, can somebody help me out? Where the fuck is my lawsuit? I can't find it. Did it fall on the floor? Oh, did it go in the circular file? Where's my fucking lawsuit, Frank? Because there'll never be a lawsuit because you can't afford it. You can't afford shit. Really? How will he choose which pictures of Edith Beale to take with him? Dude, all that shit you shipped out there? Oh man, when they deport your ass, you think fucking Gilda's gonna ship that shit off to you? Every time you call her up, she'll be, "Oh, it'll be coming soon, Pronk. Don't worry, we'll send it soon. Don't worry, I'll send it to you." Click. 3 months later. "Oh, Frank, yeah. I'm boxing it up now. It'll be there soon. Don't worry. Oh, sorry, Frank. I forgot about it." All right. And then call up a few more months later, and you hear, "Doo doo doo, the number you have dialed has been disconnected." That's how it's going to go, Frank. Hey, you're giving her everything. You gave her all your money. You just threw all your fucking chips on the table there, Frank. And guess what? Guess what? You fucked up. And it's not because you threw all your chips on the table, Frank. It's because you're a big fucking mouth. Okay? Your big fucking mouth. That's it. Your big fucking mouth has ruined it. Is Frank being deported? Horseshit over, or is it still a thing? Dude, Frank should be getting the bad news this week, man. She is. She, in my view, is play the game until she is sure he is gone, and then she disappears. And what he is the joke? Yeah, Chris. That's exactly what I'm saying here. Gilda might find the diploma. Mike Luna. All right. So that's my synopsis of all this bullshit. Go Gilder caretaker. He will need a cargo plane for his printed screenshots and files the fairy gave him. She won't have to wake up to a jack-o'-lantern anymore. Right. Yeah, he can move in with Yasmin Lee. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. It was great having a chat with you tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. I want to thank you all for coming in, man. And it's the only thing I can tell you, Frank, it's closing time, man. You can't stay here, but you don't have to go home. Good luck, Frank. This is Popeye 1. I'm out of here.